September 14th, Park and Recreation Commission meeting. Call to order, please.
Commissioner Holder?
Here.
Commissioner Naylor?
Here.
Commissioner Porter?
Here.
Vice Chair Boersma?
Here.
And Chair Guru.
Here.
All present, thank you.
Jason, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Can I have you stand, please?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you. We will now begin the reorganization of Parks and Recreation Commission. Election of the chair and the election of the vice chair.
I'd like to nominate JT as chair again.
I will second that.
Vote to elect Commissioner Guru as the Parks and Recreation Commission Chair. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter? Yes. Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Guru.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
All right, the election of the vice chair.
I would like to elect Jason Boersma as vice chair. Or nominate, sorry.
I will second that.
Okay, motion to, or vote to elect Commissioner Boersma as the Parks and Rec Commission Vice Chair. Commissioner Holder? Yes. Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter? Yes. Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Guru.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could ask just one question on the elections. If when they do elect a chairman or a vice chairman, it's only for no more than 2 terms consecutive, correct? That's where I understood somewhere, so. That was what I'd read somewhere, and I just was wondering. But I knew that they had not been twice, you know, this was just their first consecutive, so.
Okay. Presentations. The introduction of Animal Control Services Supervisor Cecilia Morris. Is that Melvin doing that? Yes, I will turn the mic on for you.
Oh, I can do it here? Okay, sounds good to me. Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight?
Fine, thank
Good.
you.
Very good. Want to introduce Cecilia Morris. She is my new animal control supervisor. She will be working with me for special projects and to help get Norco up to speed and the shelter up to speed. Questions? Okay.
Well, is she in the audience?
Oh, Cecilia, please step up.
So basically, she's taking your old job.
Yes.
Hello.
Got the mic on, JT?
Oh, it's on.
Oh, it's on?
We don't need it any louder. Hello, I come from the County of Riverside. I had 14 years there as an animal control officer. I was a City of Riverside contracted city officer, and that's where I spent my 14 years. So I'm excited about bringing all of my training and knowledge to the city of Norco and hopefully getting you guys up to speed and becoming the best we can be. Lots of equine knowledge, lots of dog knowledge, so ready to share it with everybody.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Oh, I think there's one more introduction, correct? One more. Okay, and now the next one is, I'm sorry, say? Oh. Okay.
All right. Good evening, commissioners and chair. I'd like to introduce, I actually have 3 individuals this evening that I'd like to introduce. First, starting with our new building supervisor, Ron Oglesby. He's spent 15 years with the County of Riverside in building maintenance in the juvenile hall system. Has a wealth of information behind him, and I'm super excited to have him aboard. I'll go through, then I'll bring him up individually. Is that okay? Okay. Number 2, we have a new 32-hour parks inspector. His name is Cubby Rincon. He has a wealth of knowledge in regards to sports turf and baseball fields. He spent a lot of time, I'll let him detail a few things, but he spent some time with the Dodgers. Also, I believe, a couple different collegiate organizations in the maintenance department, working on fields and such. I'm looking forward to his detailed work in inspections of parks and helping out up at Ingles. And third and final, I have Caesar. I apologize, I'm going to butcher your last name. Tiliatsi. He was, for the last 4 years, he was a part-time building maintenance worker with us. He's been tremendous in helping me get established here as the superintendent. He was interviewed very well and became a full-time facilities maintenance worker number 1. So those are my 3 individuals. I don't know if they want to get up and introduce themselves, but they're here in the audience.
Welcome.
Next one I want to introduce is Montserrat Sanchez. She is my animal control officer trainee. She's been with us over a year, and very bright young lady. Came through as a part-time person, pool position, and moved up the ranks. Very, very eager to learn, and want to welcome her to come on up and say a little something. Ms. Sanchez, come on up.
I am Montserrat Sanchez. You told me I wasn't going to be nervous, but you made me nervous. I am very eager to learn. I did start in the pole position. I did, and I'm very eager to learn from Melvin and, of course, the supervisor.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome.
This is public comments. This is the time when persons in the audience wishing to address the Park and Recreations Commission regarding items not on the agenda may speak. Please be sure to complete a card located in the back of the room and present it to the commission secretary. Do we have any cards?
We did get an email from Bonnie Schlager. Her statement was, Norco Horsemen's Association and Rural are hosting a candidates night for city council candidates at Silver Lakes at 7 p.m. The date is September 17th. Gates open at 6. Event begins at 7 p.m. Event and parking are free. This is a drive-in event. Everyone except the candidates will be in their cars and hear them on their FM radio. Please bring a mask to wear if you have to leave your car for any reason while at the event.
And that is all?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move to item 2, the consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any public comments on the consent items will be heard prior to the motion to consider action by the commission. There will be no separate action unless members of the commission request specific items to be removed from the consent calendar. Bill, do you have any to remove?
I have several. B, C, D, and F.
Jason?
No, I do not.
Mr. Porter? Corinne? Okay. With that, that would leave A, E, G, H, and I to vote on.
I move we approve the others.
I'll second that.
Or I should say correct that, receive and file, not approve.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We'll start with item B on the consent calendar.
Do you want me to start with that? I didn't know if anybody else had the same one. Number 4 under the report, I just had a question on the asbestos. They did do the thing on the 10th, and I don't know if we've gotten a report back saying whether we had asbestos or not.
We have not yet received the report.
And then on number 5, this would be for the Senior Citizens Center, where we're talking about the cooling centers. And I know earlier this year, I think it was, or the end of last year, I had asked something about an ice machine because they didn't have any ice machines, and I was just wondering how that was proceeding.
As far as I know, with Alejandro, we have to run new water lines and try to figure out where we're going to place it in the kitchen, because it's going to have to be a very small unit to probably place under the sinks in there. So I will touch base with her tomorrow and find out exactly where the status of that is.
Yeah, because I knew that we've gone through. I was trying to keep it moving along, and we've already passed budgeting time, and I didn't know if it was actually budgeted for this year or not. So,
I will double check with her.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
With that, unless somebody else has another thing, I would move to receive and file B.
Second. Yes.
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 Yes. The next one is item C.
Yes,
Taylor?
I have number C, and if I can, let's see. There it is. I just had a question for Todd on the Sundance Park. It just said staff has deemed Sundance Park unsafe and has fenced off the area. Were we talking about just the playground area, the whole park? What were we talking about?
Correct, yeah. I apologize for not being more specific. No, it is just the playground itself.
Okay. Because I scratched my head on that one first. What?
All the playgrounds are closed.
Yeah.
But we actually put up solid fence to actually keep people from tearing down.
And then in there it said that you're having difficulty finding replacement parts. I'm assuming that's for the playground equipment.
Yes, sir. Correct.
So that they no longer make that equipment or something, or
The company's obviously still in existence, but that particular model is
just not available.
Is old, and
so it's probably something that'll have to go in next year's budgeting.
correct, or mid-year if I'm lucky, but I don't want to jump the gun.
Okay. All right, that was all I had. I'll move to approve or to receive and file C.
Second.
Vote to receive and file item 2C. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter? Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Guru?
Yes.
Thank you.
Our next one is going to be item D.
Yep. Get over
Mr.
here
Naylor?
I'm getting to it. Okay, that will be number 4 on the. No, can't. Nope, that's wrong. No, back up. Went one too far. There it is. This is under landscape maintenance districts. I just wanted to commend staff for working on the trimming of the trees along the horse trail, especially in the LMDs. I know I ride up there, and was getting very tired of ducking branches and getting them in my face and such, especially if I was talking to someone and I'd get whacked. So I appreciate that. Otherwise, I will move to approve. Or somebody else?
He's not D.
Talking about item 2C again.
No, this was under Patty Ireland's report, and that would be under landscape maintenance. Or not, well, it says landscape maintenance district LMDs, and it's on that, and it says Patty Ireland prepared by, unless it got printed in somewhere in the wrong spot.
Yeah, it's just the wrong page number. It doesn't have a item thing.
Okay.
Attached to item 2C.
Yeah, it should be part of 2C.
Oh, okay. Because it didn't have a page number on it, and that's where I thought it came out printed, so I'm sorry. So that was all I had, so we've already, so I guess since there would be nothing then on D then, I guess, so I will move we receive and file D.
Second.
Receive and file item 2D. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter? Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
Chair Guru?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
And the last item will be number F, or letter F.
Yes.
Mr. Naylor.
And I just wanted to see if we could get a little more of a report on the special events update for the Parade of Lights. I know we've had a couple of committee meetings on the phones, and I just thought maybe we can get a little more information because I think it's important for the rest of the committee or commission to know.
Right now, the committee that has been involved with the phone call meetings, we've been talking about what we are going to be doing for this event, being that we're in COVID-19, and we're not anticipating gatherings at this time. Some of the conversations that we were talking about was going back to the old ways of doing a lighted community center and a tree lighting there, and maybe have a drive-through with Santa on a sleigh, and giving kids, I don't know, hot chocolate or candy canes or something at a social distance, and then people can drive through there during a period of time when the lights will be illuminated during the holiday season. Crystal is also working on something for a virtual Breakfast with Santa. We've discussed house decorating contests, and other things. Right now, Jamie is working on getting estimates from different lighting companies to go out and give us estimates for what it would cost to illuminate the front of the community center. And we believe, the committee believes, that we have enough lights in our storage that we could probably light up the whole front of community center, the buildings. So that's what has been discussed. Bill, if you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just a few things. I know that there was some discussion about length of time, and I think you're talking about maybe a week's time that it would be lit up for people to drive through and such. I was just a little concerned that might be a little long, but...
That hasn't really been determined, but Jamie and I have had more conversations in the office regarding the actual event time, day or period of time, and we thought it would be best to just have the event kick off one day and just let the lights illuminate for a period of time where people can go through.
I know there's been discussion from several people on the committee, and it's been really good feedback back and forth. I know at the last phone meeting we had, we finally decided that it was going to be more of the Christmas colors than the red, white, and blue, which, you know, that was one of the recommendations, and it's great, but I just felt like it was the wrong wrong theme for Christmas. The other thing that I was suggesting, and to go along with what they were talking about, when you kind of have a drive-through and look at lights and things, I had suggested, and I don't know how many people have had a chance to do the drive-through that they have at Griffith Park with all the lights and such that they do. They right down the street, and they have scenes set along the side. And we were talking about that little street that goes right there in front of the community center and comes in off of that side street and goes right back out onto Hamner, I think is what you guys were talking about.
The parking lot, yeah. The parking lot area.
So it would make, it gives us an area that we can do stuff with. I do know that one of the challenges that were explained to us is that there's a lack of electricity and a good access to electricity in a lot of that area. And so that was one of the concerns that I had about having it an extended length of time, because we wouldn't, unless we rented generators and such, then who's going to secure them down and all that stuff. I know I did volunteer. If it was only going to be a couple of nights, I'd be willing to go over and spend a couple of nights there just to do it if we needed to, but I'm not going to spend a whole week there. Sorry. Other than that, that's all I had. I just didn't know if anybody else had any thoughts or suggestions that the committee might be able to work upon. Nope.
I'm not familiar with the setup yet, so that's what I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. Then, if there's no other comments, anybody have anything else on item F? If not, I will make a motion to receive and file.
Second.
Vote to receive and file item 2F. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter? Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Garou?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Line item 4, commission action items. Park and public facility dedication criteria. Recommend approve revised park and public facility dedication criteria and provide recommendation for City Council to approve the document.
Yes, thank you, Chair. The City of Norco provides the opportunity for residents to have buildings, rooms, parks, or monuments named after them, as well as benches installed or trees planted in an individual's honor if the individual made an outstanding contribution towards Norco's lifestyle. Criteria for park and public facility dedication were approved by City Council in October 1997. Item 4 of the criteria states, the nominee must be deceased for a minimum of 120 days before consideration of or review of nomination requests. In the spirit of the dedication, the City Council has waived this requirement over the last several years. Examples of this are the Rose M. Eldridge Senior Center, Bob and Carlene Allen Room, Kathy Azevedo's Spirit of Norco Monument, Wayne Macon Field 6 dedication to Rex and Pat Cooter. Based on these recent City Council approvals, staff is asking to remove this requirement from the Park and Building Facility Dedication Criteria document. Staff is at this time asking for the Commission to approve the revised Park and Public Facility Dedication Criteria, which is attached in your packet, and recommend that City Council approve this document. The one attached is the draft that we would be sending to City Council for approval, which removes the fourth criteria for the nominee must be deceased. Are there any questions? That is correct.
Corinne? Bill?
Just a question on I'm pretty comfortable with it, but I know we've had several that the council have had to, I guess, override their normal policy to approve this, correct? Mm-hmm. And by making this change, is it going to make it too easy for things to come through? Or, because that is one of the reasons for setting these kinds of criteria up, is so that you just don't get a whole bunch flying through.
We may get some flying through, but they will come to commission first for recommendations to City Council, and then at that time, City Council has that decision to make.
Okay.
Because basically the way it was was just bypassing us, going straight to city council. Because unless.
No.
It did?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Vote to approve the revised park and public facility dedication criteria and provide recommendation to city council to approve the document. Commissioner Holder?
Yes.
Commissioner Naylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Porter? Vice Chair Boersma?
Yes.
And Chair Garou.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Line item 5, director discussions. Number A, Measure R, CPI update. Todd Shank.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll start with the CIP projects. Currently, we have a Fire Station 47, our bay door project. Award of contract was approved. A pre-construction meeting has been held. We're anticipating notice to proceed within the next week. Ingles Event Center improvements is another CIP project. Oh, there's several. We've been holding meetings with our subcommittee. The 4 main ones, I'll call it that, is to landscape and irrigate 2 more bioswales on the east pad. We have a drainage project on the east slope of Nellie Weaver that's currently almost completed with engineering. We have 26 new LED lights going in on the east pad and also the north and east side of Moreno Arena. And we also have another drainage project in front of the Veterans Memorial slope. From there, we'll move to successor agency and Measure R with the City Hall Sheriff Station improvements. Phase 1, which is predominantly successor agency funds, all badge readers are installed and working. New video cameras have been installed, but not yet live. We're in the process of working on the mainframe and the computer portion of the software. Phase 2 is a Measure R funded. Staff is meeting with architects to determine the design of the counters in the front entrance portions of City Hall. Riley Gym floor replacement is a Measure R project. It has been completed. Notice of completion is on the agenda for City Council for the 16th of this month. AC Units Swamp Coolers project, it's a Measure R project, award of contract. It's being awarded City Council agenda for this Wednesday, the 16th. Citywide roofing project is almost complete. We have 2 buildings left. We have the skylights at City Hall, and we have the finished the Parks Yard office. We've slowed down a little bit with some of the wooden beams we've had issues with and having to work with engineering to make that work. Next, we have the Riley Gym Scout House parking lot, also part of Measure R, making adjustments and plans and preparing the RFP. Should be out to bid within a month. ADA assessment is also Measure R. Proposals from the bidders are due the 17th of September. Santa Ana River Trail, the causeway, is also Measure R. It's in progress. There's a lot of different moving parts in that and different agencies and stuff, so it's a pretty good size undertaking. Animal control, Parmenter Park and Wayne Macon parking lots is also a Measure R funded project. We walked the parking lots with our city engineer to determine the needs so plans can get started. So we're setting up some, checking the ADA and going through the different needs of what the parking lots require. Riley Gym Improvements is a Measure R funded project. We'll be meeting with an architect to determine the project scope. Pool demolition is also a Measure R project. Asbestos testing was conducted on the 10th of September and plan to move forward after we get our responses from the testing. That includes the pool and the building. Pole barns, Measure R. We are currently having bi-weekly meetings and scheduled with committee and engineer. Drawings from engineer are being worked on. This is a project of, let's call it grave importance for everyone. It's been going on for a little while, so we're trying to make sure we get everything that the committee that we all desire and making it as functional as possible. Nellie Weaver Hall improvements is also a Measure R funded project. I'll go through the projects. Currently, we have COVID testing there, so it's been hard to access and work on some of these projects. But some of the projects that were slated to be done are interior insulation, painting, interior and exterior as well. We also have a large stage door that we're looking to replace. Within that, we're also looking at redoing the entire parking lot. And obviously within that portion of the project, we'll be looking at drainage and then redoing the electrical pedestals. Moreno Arena Sound, Measure R project. Setting up appointments with sound engineers to develop the scope of work and make sure we're putting in what is required for the different events and projects we run through there. Ball field sports light replacement is a Measure R project. Award of contract from City Council is on the last meeting on September 2nd. We'll be scheduling a pre-construction meeting. I've received all the new LED fixtures, and we're working on getting the poles ordered and setting up so we can get those installed. Let me see here. Ingles Event Center improvements, successor agency. Meetings are being held with the subcommittee. That concludes my update. Any questions?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Damn. Bill?
Well, I think.
Luckily, you got some help.
Okay, well, I can start if
Starting?
you want, unless Corinne would like. Okay, yeah, just a couple of things. One, on the pole barns, I know you're meeting with the subcommittee from the commission. Will those plans and such be coming back to the commission before any contracts are issued or whatever? I'd like to see what we're, I know we plopped down about $1 million for this, and I'd like to see what we're getting for for our money.
Sure, absolutely. I will. I'll have to follow up, but I would assume so. We are. No, it doesn't work that way. I apologize.
Go to council.
They don't go to commission, go straight to council.
Then how can we recommend it if we don't see what we're getting? I know it's been approved, but I personally.
Because two of us sit on that.
That's 2 of 5. You don't have a quorum. So I'm just wondering. It's normally you would think it would come back to commission for you guys are doing the basic legwork on it, but you bring it back to the commission for our look-see, and most likely he'll say, yeah, go ahead and no problem. But if there's something that flags us as an issue, I think we should look at it. I'd hate to be the only one standing in front of council saying, hey, wait a minute, we haven't had a chance to see this.
I mean, I would say I think one of the main problems with this is it is being done as quickly as possible. And if it does not line up with our meetings, we would end up having to call a special meeting for it.
But when we're talking $1 million, I'm concerned.
March, and they're trying to get it done pretty quickly. So it was not my understanding that it was going to come back to commission.
Okay. Well,
We're only there.
I'll just be on record
for
as saying I think it should.
information purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would add to that, the subcommittee is not there to approve this project. We're there to give input. So it's not like 2 of us are approving it and the rest don't get to see it. That's not exactly how the process is working.
Well, I understand that because I'm on several subcommittees too, and the idea being is it's to help reduce the length of time it takes to discuss things at a commission meeting, and you get a lot of things done ahead of time where you can really hash it out. But it's my own personal feeling. It should come back to the commission, but that's just one vote, not 5.
All right. Jason, you got any feedback?
Other than he's a busy man. I've been up at Ingles and seen the improvements there with drainage. I've gone over some of the new improved, or what's in engineering. That's already in engineering?
For Nellie Weaver?
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice. Because we just walked over that 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
So, yeah, because there's some issues there, drainage and all that. There was a lot done over this time. The one thankful thing to COVID is giving the city time to do these improvements. I just wish more money was there to do more of them. But, so I got that, and then, yes, I've been sitting on the pole barns, and that is every other week. We are in discussions with the engineer, with 2 of the city council members are also on that subcommittee. So they're trying to hash out everything that Patty would need and that FFA and the 4-H would need for fair. Trying to make it a multi-use venue. So there's been a lot of information going on that. I mean, that's going quick too. It's probably not quick enough, but trying to with an August 1st deadline. Then Wayne Macon, you talked about Wayne Macon about getting new parking lots and probably the ADA stuff going through that.
Correct.
Is all on that new report for ADA.
But it's kind of in conjunction with, we're making sure that we have the proper, we're trying to, I don't want to say assume, that's not the right word, but have the proper, we have an idea what numbers go through there, so we're trying to, we can determine how many
Yeah,
ADAs, parking
there's
stalls.
not enough parking for
Correct.
what the number of
Correct.
people and the ADA pathway and all
The
that.
access and the percentage of slope for,
So, but you're
parking.
down to only 2 roofs left in the city?
yeah, and really it's the one roof at the park office. City Hall was just the skylight portion, so we didn't actually do roof there. It was
Okay.
done, I believe, roughly 10 years ago. But we're still trying to maintain all of our stuff with Garland Roofing in regards to.
So I have a favor for next meeting. Can you guys, in between you and Michelle, have pictures of some of the final products?
Oh, absolutely.
We're not supposed to be in there. I did get lucky enough to see the new gym floor. That was really looks nice in there. So some of that stuff would be, well, I have the demo pictures, but I don't have what it looks like done.
Gotcha. Yeah, the white night, you need your sunglasses.
Well,
it's super bright.
yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely do that.
You know, some of the projects because there is a lot of projects going, is when they get completed, is to have a before and after shot and really show the commission what's where all this money is going to and how good all the improvements actually are needed.
Definitely.
That's all I have, JT. That was a
Mr.
lot.
Porter?
So that was discussed within the committee. What we've tried to do is prioritize the projects. That one, while it is on the list, it isn't as high. We are working on other ideas to utilize the soil that has been piled there. We don't want it piled there into the rainy season because it does have to be covered in wattles and whatnot. So we're looking at some different things, specifically a lot of that clean soil. We were talking about using it around the arena inside, well, outside of the arena, but in Clark around the exterior of the panels inside to kind of level. And over time, it's become really hard pan just from all the different, we're scraping, cleaning, so we're down. So we're trying to get some better footing in there for the animals. That won't utilize it all, but we're going to try and get most of it used up. Yeah. I'll put it on the list. I know it's come up in discussions in regards to different events, but yeah, it's even, I think, one as well. definitely look, yeah, all the different. Definitely, I'll definitely look into it.
And I'm glad to hear that we're going to do something with that roll-up door. That thing, we've been fighting with that thing for ever and ever and ever. So some good projects getting done. Really happy with staff. They're really pulling on the rope hard. Appreciate that. All right. Corinne.
I know I jumped in earlier, so you forgot.
That's okay. I'll come back.
I just wanted to kind of take a minute, and Jason said that a little bit already. I sit on the subcommittee for Ingles Park. We're working on the pole barn subcommittee. There has been so much going on, and it was March we did the walkthrough with Ingles Park with the new fencing, all of those new options, looking at the draining, water sheeting off the roof and where the drains clog and flood everything. Being able to go up there and see all of those projects actually done. The fencing is done, the gates look great, the new drainage coming off the roof line, concreting, a lot of new ideas on how to make sure all of the water goes where it needs to go, working on the bioswales, and then being able to not only say, look, okay, these projects are done, but okay, here's the next couple of projects. What do you guys think? What should be working on first? And I can already see, I know they're going to get done in a short frame of time. So for all of the staff that has to put work on this, it's really amazing, and I appreciate the work. I know it's been maybe nice, even though it sucks a lot, but not having people in all of these buildings, you're able to do roofing, you're able to do all kinds of stuff at Ingles Park because it's not being utilized and rented. But there's a lot of events that go on up there, and the people that rent them annually every single year for multiple events are going to notice. They really are. It's huge. So I appreciate all the work.
Thank you.
That's it.
We're all good? Okay. Director discussion items. Number B, subcommittee assignments. Todd, you're a busy guy today.
All right,
That's good Brian's not here.
yeah. We're going to go through the assignments for the Parks and Recreation and Community Services, the commission committee members. The committee responsibilities cover capital improvements and park open space development projects, provide feedback to director during annual fee review, meetings as needed. For George Ingles Equestrian Event Center Development and Operations Committee, we have Councilmember Hoffman, Councilmember Hanna, Commissioner Holder, Commissioner Borsman. Staff includes myself, Todd Shank, and Miss Patty Ireland. Mrs. The next committee, the development, the Quimby, as assigned based on new developments, is commissioners are to be assigned both positions, and then a staff member would be Brian Petrie. George Ingles Veterans Memorial, Chair Guru, Commissioner Porter, staff members Todd Shank and Patty Ireland. Parks, Trails, and Open Spaces, Chair Guru, Commissioner Naylor, staff member myself, Todd Shank. The Youth and Adult Sports Program Committee, I'll read the same thing. Committee responsibilities cover programming and facilitation issues related to adult sports and youth sports, as well as mediation when needed. Commissioner oversees Youth Sports Advisory Council. Meetings will be the first Tuesday of the month, quarterly. Commissioner Borsma, Commissioner Porter, Volunteer Chair Richard Boyle, staff members Michelle England, Todd Shank, Alejandra Gonzalez, and Jamie Carper. For recreation and leisure programs, committee responsibilities cover recreation and leisure programming, issues related to adult and youth, for example, dance, taekwondo, youth sports camps. Commissioner Holder, Commissioner Porter, staff members Michelle Anglin, Superintendent Alejandra Gonzalez, Supervisor, Crystal Foster, Recreation Specialist, and Julie Castellanos, Volunteer Coordinator. Special events. Committee responsibilities cover special event issues related to community special events. First one is the Winter Festival and Parade of Lights. Commissioner Porter, Commissioner Holder, staff members Michelle Anglin and Jamie Lambert. National Day of the American Cowboy. Commissioner Holder, Chair Guru, staff members Michelle Anglin and Special Events Coordinator. Concerts, Movie in the Park. Commissioner Porter, Commissioner Holder, staff members Michelle Anglin and Special Events Coordinator. 4th of July, Commissioner Naylor, Chair Guru, staff members Michelle Anglin and Special Events Coordinator. Senior and Human Services Program Committee. Committee responsibilities cover senior issues and will be a part of the town hall meeting as needed. Senior Stay Advisory Committee meeting will be the first Wednesday of each month at 11 a.m. Commissioner Holder, Commissioner Naylor, staff members Alejandra Gonzalez and Michelle Anglin. Volunteer Committee. Committee responsibilities cover issues related to the volunteerism for the city of Norco. Chair Guru, Commissioner Naylor, staff, Michelle Anglin, and Julie Castellanos, Volunteer Coordinator. Combat Alcohol and Drug Problems Committee, Unload. Committee responsibilities cover issues related to combating the use of alcohol and drugs. Monthly meetings on the fourth Monday at 5 p.m. Councilmember Grenmeyer, Commissioner Porter, Commissioner Naylor, staff members Alejandra Gonzalez and Crystal Foster, Recreation Specialist. Special Assignments Committee, Marketing, Promotion of Assets and Program Services, Commissioner Holder, Commissioner Boersma, and then to be determined is the EDAC Commission Subcommittee meeting members, staff members Michelle Anglin and Patty Ireland.
Everybody happy?
Question. Needless to say.
Imagine that.
Sorry about that. Couple actually. One over here on the winter. Winter Festival and Parade of Lights. My understanding is council changed that a couple of years ago to Christmas because they specifically wanted the word Christmas, even though we're not, because they were getting tired of being politically correct. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to see if that, was I right or wrong on that, or?
You're correct.
And no longer Winter Festival, it's Christmas Festival.
Correct.
And then the other thing is I noticed, they must have made some changes in assignments because I know I was on that committee and now I'm not.
Winter or Christmas.
I don't care, I just wanted to know.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I originally had been assigned to that committee in the last year, and then I guess that has been changed. They've reassigned committee assignments.
Yes, Director Petrie does the assignments, so he tries to put people in other areas and tries to kind of give assignments equally. Commissioners move around all the time.
I was wondering because, okay, so that's one less meeting I have. Okay, I just was wondering.
Well, you might be on another committee that you weren't on.
That was all I had.
And I would just like to point out right now, as we're talking about the committees, the Unload Committee is dark right now during COVID, I believe.
Yeah, the Unload Committee, that's.
I wasn't sure what that was. I was going to ask what
Yeah, it's Unload.
dark was. I don't know. Okay.
And seniors have not been senior committee has not been meeting.
Okay. Well, that'll take us to 5C, COVID-19 update. Michelle?
All right. Not a subject I really would like to talk about, but we're going to this evening. You have a handout, and we also have a slideshow up here for you to follow along. So as we know, on September 3rd, 2020, California has moved away from that watch list system of tracking coronavirus trends and instead is now following a 4-tier color-coded classification system that will determine which counties can move forward with reopening businesses. There are 4 tiers: yellow, orange, red, and purple. Yellow indicates the minimum, and as everybody knows right now, Riverside County is in the purple. Purple means there is a widespread COVID-19 transmission in the county, and nearly all businesses have to keep indoor operations closed or severely limited. With the widespread, the counties with more than 7 daily new cases per 100,000 residents or higher than 8% positivity rate. In the substantial, the red, 4 to 7 daily new cases per 100 residents or 5 to 8% positivity. Moderate in the orange, 1 to 3.9 daily new cases per 100,000 or 2 to 4.9 positivity. In the minimal, yellow, less than 1 daily new case per 100,000 or less than 2% positivity. Counties must stay in a tier for at least 3 weeks before moving down. If a county's metrics worsen for 2 consecutive weeks, it will be assigned a more restrictive tier. How a county is categorized depends on the number of new daily coronavirus cases and the testing positivity rate, or the proportion of those tested who turn back a positive result. Here's how it breaks down. Like I said before, the widespread, the substantial, moderate, and minimal with those percentages. Each color code has a different set of rules regarding what businesses are and aren't allowed to reopen, whether they can open indoors or outdoors, and at what capacity they can operate. Here's how it breaks down per category with the rules of the framework. CDPH will assess indicators weekly. Their first weekly assessment was released on September 8th, 2020. A county will remain in a tier for a minimum of 3 weeks before being able to advance to a later tier. A county can only move forward 1 tier at a time, even if the metrics qualify for a more advanced tier. If a county's case rate and test positivity measure fall into 2 different tiers, the county will assign the more restrictive tier. City local health jurisdiction data will be included in overall metrics, and the city will be assigned the same tier as the surrounding county. Let's take a look at Riverside County. This map actually is outdated now that Orange County is in the red. So Orange County should be red, just like San Diego. Riverside County is in the purple. And that means nearly all non-essential indoor businesses must close. Many businesses can operate outdoors with modifications. These next 4 slides that you have, I'm not going to go into them with detail because it lists what is allowed and what is not allowed in Riverside County at this time. But there's 4 pages of can and cannots. We're going to give you a little update of what we've been doing in the department for COVID-19. At City Hall and offsite locations, all employee wellness stations have been set up at 2 locations for daily self-temperature and symptom screening checks before beginning shifts. Plexiglass guards have been installed at all public counters for protection. All counters and plexiglass are cleaned and sanitized between residents or customers. Signs have been posted to remind residents and employees to remain socially distanced and to wear a face covering. As well as City Hall and all off-site locations, 1 entrance in and 1 exit out with the exception of Parks and Recreation Office. Hand sanitizing dispensers have been placed through facilities to encourage hand cleaning. Floor markers have been placed at public counter areas to encourage social distancing. All staff wear face coverings. Public distribution of free masks is in place, and remote meetings or socially distanced are also in place. Staff has developed, this is overall guidance for Parks and Recreation and Community Services. We have developed a reopening and readiness policies and procedures. Staff has received training on current COVID-19 procedures and protocols, and we continue to do those periodically as we proceed through COVID. All employees are asked to stay home if not feeling well and are temperature checked at start of shift. All employees have been issued PPE. Signs are posted with Center of Disease Control's COVID-19 information. Hand sanitation stations and social distancing placard installed in all rooms and facility restrooms. All facility restrooms are cleaned daily. So let's talk about some fun stuff now with COVID-19. What we have done is we have pivoted during this pandemic. For special events, we have created a virtual rec page and recreation survey that went out to a lot of our past participants. Recreation and we created the survey to public for their desires during this COVID-19. We provided the community with virtual events such as an Easter egg hunt, a 4th of July, Parks Make Life Better geocaching, and Popcorn in the Park drive-in movie. 2 more drive-in movies are being planned before the end of the calendar year. Also, Flag Day, Virtual Memorial Day, and Patriot Day tribute have been concluded. A backyard campout is being planned for October, and a Christmas event is being developed for December. For our youth services, Kids Creativity Camp has been restructured to follow CDC, California Department of Public Health, and county guidelines for child care programs and providers as follows. The community center has been retrofitted with COVID-19 safety guards, sanitation stations, plexiglass check-in. There is a 1-to-8 ratio for program staff and participants. Outdoor drop-off and pickup has been implemented. Staff and participants undergo daily wellness screenings and temperature checks. Participants socialize and engage through contactless games and activities and remain in their assigned cohort throughout the duration of the camps. We People Play School has shut down, once we had shut down when COVID hit, activity worksheets were sent via email to the participants who were enrolled in our program. We People Drive-By graduation was conducted at the community center at the end of that session. Since then, We People Play School has been restructured to follow CDC, California Department of Public Health, and county guidelines for child care programs and providers as well. We People Play School is slated to open Monday, September 21st. For youth sports, in an effort to provide community youth with sport and fitness opportunities, youth sports programs have been restructured to follow CDC, California Department of Public Health, and county guidelines for youth sports. The city has offered 2 conditioning day camps, which is a 75-minute program designed to develop athletic conditioning in children ages 7 to 13 years old. The city has offered 2 basketball camps for children ages 7 to 13 years of age, focusing on developing the athlete's basketball knowledge, skills, and framework. All camp participants undergo daily wellness screenings and temperature checks and remain in their assigned cohort throughout the duration of the camp. For park maintenance, Park maintenance. In an effort to slow the spread of COVID-19, the following has been implemented. All park playgrounds, basketball courts, and restrooms have been closed to the public for safety reasons. Signage has been posted everywhere to notify residents of current regulations set forth by the County of Riverside. We increased the part-time field maintenance driver's role to include a day shift as well to keep the public informed and make sure all are following the mandatory regulations. For senior services and party partners, in order to minimize contact, the Riverside County Office on Aging Senior Congregate Meal Program is in week 28 of the weekly drive-through meal pickup. Meal distribution is every Friday at the Rose M. Eldridge Senior Center parking lot. Seniors receive a week's worth of frozen meals, 7 meals total, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Although the Senior Center is currently closed to the public, the Senior Center Cool Center is activated still when temperatures reach 97 degrees or higher and serves senior ages 60 and older. An additional Cool Center site is available to the public at the City of Norco Scout House. The reason why we have 2 this year is to separate because the seniors are a higher risk group, so we wanted to make sure that they were kept in their own environment. Bi-weekly wellness calls are made to senior participants to check in on them and remind them of the resources available to them. Wellness packets are distributed to the seniors on the first Friday of every month during the meal pickup. Packets include a monthly facility newsletter, personal care items, and activity sheets. National Senior Day was celebrated with a drive-through ice cream social to keep participants engaged. The door-to-door transportation service is still operational during the facility closure for necessity shopping, doctor's visits, and et cetera. Party Partners, the program for developmentally challenged adults, staff delivered fun packets to participants at Peppermint Ridge Homes. Participants with alternate residence arranged for pickup or delivery of those fun packets. For the George Ingles Equestrian Event Center, all events are canceled, levels are closed, and gates secured with the exception of Nellie River Hall and Pumpkin Rock hiking trail. Hand sanitation station at Veterans Memorial have been placed. A state COVID-19 test site is in operation Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Nellie River Hall and is cleaned professionally by a contracted janitorial service. Pumpkin Rock Hiking Trail is open for personal exercise and a chain link fence installed so public cannot enter the event center. COVID-19 precautions are in place at all other levels of the facility. For animal control, their front office, they have set up 2 transparent shields for each clerk. So social distancing floor signage is in place, as well as 2 hand sanitizer stations, and all areas disinfected daily. The front entry has social distancing floor signage, 2 hand sanitizer stations, and those areas are also disinfected weekly. For more information in the packet, there's there's 3 websites that you can visit, as well as an emergency phone number in case you have information with COVID-19. The one emergency is the first link you'll see up there, the first phone number, and then the second phone number is for general information for COVID-19. Is there any questions for staff?
Not really a question, just a comment, and again, having to switch gears and try and engage our youth and our seniors, and anybody that wants to try and get out and play or do something. You guys did an amazing job coming up with fun programs. The visiting all the parks I thought was great. But just everything that you guys have been working on has been really nice to see the new options come out and try and keep our people engaged when they're theoretically locked in their homes. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to also say we are opening up the parks and facilities for additional rentals right now with the new guidelines that have come out. So we have a lot of travel teams coming to us for facilities. They do have to submit a proposal. Everybody who rents from us will have to submit a proposal for review and evaluation and approval from the WDCD manager. They do follow the health and safety guidelines, and as well as our guidelines that we're requiring as a city. So I think we have, I want to say 5 pending approval right now, and we've already approved, I think, 3 or 4. So we are getting people out on the fields and generating a little bit of revenue.
Because I was on the sports advisory committee, and now Shane will be on there, which is nice because he's done a lot of the youth sports. Have any of our regular seasonal options come back in any format? Because I mean, people don't realize how hard you guys are working behind the scenes to meetings and trying to get things done. So has anything good come out of any of that?
Little League has decided they're not going to have a season. The president actually moved away. The vice president, Kurt, he's taking over as president right now. So they're kind of revamping and seeing what they're going to do, if they're going to even have fall ball at all, which is highly unlikely unless they come up with doing day camps or youth sports in a different spectrum what they're used to of having games, because you can't have competition. Girls softball has submitted, after a lengthy process with them, they have submitted their plan. It is to Brian for approval, review and approval. Right now, they did it after everything. They did an excellent job at figuring out how to manage and do the skill sets and all the trainings, keeping the social distancing. I'm proud of them. AYSO is submitting theirs. They think that they're going to be able to do exactly what they do in Corona, which has less stringent guidelines, and I don't know if they'll be approved or they'll have to concede and come up with what we're asking them to do. JAF is done for the season. They're completely done. So unless they decide something else, I don't see them coming back until next year. And I'd like to help you for your help. Thank you for your help on that. That you guys did a lot of work. All of Patty's staff up there did an amazing job. It was a little nerve-wracking for me at first because we've never done it before, but it turned out well and we didn't have any accidents. So that's why, we had great positive feedback, and Brian was really happy with it, and that's why he said move forward and do 2 more before the end of the year. People need it. The community needs it. So it's a feel-good thing.
Well, the only comment basically I've got is I'm getting a lot of feedback back from the community that they really want to see Ingles opened up for recreation riding. If you can ride in the other arenas around town, they're questioning, well, if you can ride there and just 1 or 2 people in the arena at a time, why can't somebody ride up at Ingles, especially in the shade during the heat of the summer? It's just kind of the community's concern right now.
Proposal was submitted to allow 3 riders in the arena at one time, and my understanding is still pending. Guidelines changed, conditions changed, and it looked like a gathering again, so it was kind of put aside. It's being revisited, as well as the local clubs. So we're putting a reopening plan in the works and see if we can get it approved.
Thank you. At least I can give them back with some feedback back to the people that are approaching me.
So I have this, just came in today right before I came to this meeting. And it was sent out on September 12th from, I believe, the California Department of Public Health. And it is a CDPH guidance for prevention of COVID-19 transmission for gatherings. And this says, this guidance provides an updated plan for Californians to gather outside their household and replaces the March 16th gatherings guidance. It applies to public and private gatherings and other gatherings not covered by existing sector guidance. Gatherings are defined as meetings or other events that bring together people from different households at the same time in a single space or place. When people from different households mix, this increases the risk of transmission of COVID-19. To protect public health and slow the rate of transmission of COVID-19, gatherings, unless otherwise specified, are not permitted across the state of California until further guidance is issued by the California Department of Public Health. So that actually means even those yellow counties, is our understanding that they cannot do that as well.
Yeah. Because just in an arena environment, you've got you definitely have your 6-foot distancing.
And there's a little bit more to this. The state health officer has generally prohibited gatherings of all kinds statewide, with limited exceptions for worship services, cultural ceremonies like weddings and funerals, and protest activities. Because there's an elevated risk of COVID-19 transmission when people gather indoors for prolonged periods, the county health officer prohibits any gatherings from occurring indoors. Accordingly, worship services, cultural ceremonies, protests, and political events may occur outdoors subject to the requirements of this directive, but they may not occur indoors. While wedding ceremonies may occur outdoors subject to the mandatory requirements of this directive, the state has clarified that wedding receptions, parties, celebrations are not permitted at this time under the state public health orders. And that came from the September 12th guidance as well.
So they're considering Ingles as an indoor facility, even though they are allowing outdoor type patio use for food, restaurants, things like that. It doesn't have sides. I'm just saying it's not making sense to me.
I actually had a conversation on the phone with somebody from the county. I asked him to help me wrap my head around making sense of this. If this can be happening, why can't this? There's no different risk. It makes no sense. And what Brian and I had discussions about is they're trying to figure it out too. And there's really, they're scrambling to make guidance up and policies up. So I think as we go down the road, there's going to be more of those guidance coming out. It's going to start ironing out. It's probably going to happen when we change to the red or the orange or the yellow. But I think that's what's happening. Because they're like, I don't know. They don't have a lot of answers. So, and when we get updates of current guidelines, and they're changing all the time. So it's throw the dart, see where it lands, or but we're doing the best that we can with what we have.
Okay, thank you.
No, I am good.
Backyard campout? Talk to me.
So the plan we're working on is to put together a camp out experience for families at home. And we're putting together a camp pack that people can purchase on the side. And it's not finalized yet. So, and it would include something like a craft, a s'mores box, a Jiffy Pop popcorn. There's something else in that box for a nominal cost of $25. Anybody can do it for free, and we'll have links on the website where you can go and you can get an astronomy map to do in the backyard. You can do crafts and activities that you can do with supplies at your own house. It has stories in it. It has songs, YouTube video songs that the families could do together. So we are trying to roll that out hopefully this week.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's a time. Yeah, it's a time for people and families in their own cohort families to stay together, to experience something. And some of these kids might not have ever been in a camp out or in a tent or, whatever. And it's not that you have to go in your backyard either. You can go in your house and build a fort out of blankets. I mean, I used to do it when I was a kid. So it's just something fun for families to do together and just have fun.
That's creative. I like that. That's good stuff. All right. So, item 6, staff and commission comments. So I guess we'll start with Todd.
I really don't have that many. Just trying to stay organized and busy with keeping up with our task list. That's all I have. Thank you.
Melvin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nothing on my end. Also, just trying to keep my staff trained and keep everybody in good health and make sure all of the visitors that come through the shelter is happy and they can get the service and leave with a smile on their face and hopefully an animal also.
Is that working? Are you getting some move?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we are really, really low.
Nice.
So I'm happy about that. And we look at other facilities, other shelters, and they're not taking in or producing what we are. So very happy about that.
Good. Patty?
Projects, can't wait to back working on the 21.
Well, your staff and you've been able to, the arena looks so good. I was up there the other day walking the dog and I was like, it's looking good. Absolutely. Michelle?
I just want to clarify, the arena is considered a venue, so we do need a variance, and I think did you submit a variance? So what happens with the variance is that the variance goes to the county, and then it goes upwards to try to get the approval. So that's with anything that we want to do. If it doesn't meet the guidelines, and we call it a variance, we have to submit the plan, and it goes forward, and they decide if they're going to approve it or not. I have nothing else.
Robin? Thank you. Corinne?
I actually had a question regarding, this is going to be maybe outside of our realm vaguely. I was hoping Alejandro is going to be here. The numbers for Sodexo for the senior meals. They're getting their weekly meals. Do you know if that number is greater than the regular average for lunches that we were doing?
Absolutely higher.
It is?
It is probably tripled, if not a little bit more. This last week, we served 70. So it's dropping a little bit from the beginning of COVID. And it also, I think, is imperative of the heat as well. So,
That they're not coming out because it's too hot?
yeah. The week that it was really hot, our numbers dropped.
Oh, so they didn't.
Because they have
okay.
to either stand there and wait in line, or they have to drive through.
Okay.
And the ones that are in the vicinity are the ones that are walking up.
Clark Terrace, or the senior center in and of itself, also gets other food donations. We have the I don't even know what to call it, the Norco Food Bank. The Harvey's old group has been taken over by another entity, and Clark is not taking, I don't know who gets that, but the senior center. Someone comes, not seniors and pets, but some of that comes to the senior center, and they're not taking all of that food right now. They say they don't need it. So I think I'm going to send.
I'm not aware of that, but I thought that was going to Clark Terrace.
I believe it's going to Clark Terrace.
Okay.
But what happens, kind of like Sodexo's average numbers, if they don't use it, they're going to lose it over time because those numbers have to be turned into this group. So I'm going to email you and Alejandro. I don't know who takes those donations. Like, I don't know how you guys organize that. But maybe we can have a discussion and see if there's something that we can do to help. They're trying to utilize other groups and keep giving the food out and getting those addresses and that kind of thing to keep their numbers up. But they're concerned that they're going to lose that food, and then when that need comes back, we won't be able to supply it. Myself and Bill are on the senior subcommittee, so I'll email like the four of us and see if maybe we can, I don't know, have some subcommittee conversation to see if there's something we can do. Whoever organizes that, maybe they have a solution, or maybe they have, I have no idea. Maybe they were just getting more food than they're used to and they can't store it, or it's not going out.
You know who the group is that is organizing it right now?
It's the River Church.
River Church?
Yeah.
Jared Beer?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I know the person that actually does the whole food bank part, because he doesn't do that personally. He comes in and helps, and his mom helps. But yeah, so the last 2 times they haven't been able to take as much food. And then I think the last time they weren't able to utilize, they were like, we can't take any food. And they were basically saying the seniors aren't utilizing it. So it's great that they're getting Sodexo, but then everyone's concern was what happens when Sodexo stops supplying those, and then this food might not be available to them.
I think having a discussion with the senior apartment complexes as well to find out if they could help assist us distribute.
See whoever's doing that and see if we can get something working. Okay, so I'll email you.
Okay.
And then we can maybe try and get something worked out,
Perfect.
because, yeah, we're just always worried that they're going to need food, and we have some, and now it's just sitting there. All right, thank you. That's all. But yes, welcome everyone, either back or new. I've heard some really good things about you working up at Ingles Park. Everyone says very nice things about your volunteer work, so we appreciate that.
All right, Shane, you're in the limelight, man. They got the movies on you and everything. Bill?
Only thing that I have is that I'm going to be trying to comply with the COVID stuff here starting next week because I'm going to be going in and having a knee replacement, so I'll be laid up for about 6 weeks.
Jason?
I'm good. I'm thankful for staff through this time. They've had to endure quite a bit, including that whole presentation. Todd I think has stepped up in a tremendous way. Getting hired just before this hits and gets Measure R thrown on him.
Go home.
Yes. He had to really step up. I'm glad he's got a little help now. Melvin, he's been stepping up too and taking care of over there. It's been quiet over there because of COVID though. Patty, I think, is getting bored. But I know she's busy with all the projects. I see her running around up there all the time. And I know Michelle over there with all this virtual has come up with a lot of unique ideas. And I'm really happy to see those doing something, trying to get the community involved. Other than that, I want to thank Commission and the new people here. Sorry, it's Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Porter, I haven't met him before. I've seen him around, but I haven't met him. And Bill and JT, thanks for coming back. Appreciate you guys here.
So I want to thank staff tremendously. They really pulled off, out of disaster, they pulled out some really cool things. Took Todd on a field trip recently. Took a couple of horses and rode them across the river, trying to get that. Yes, ma'am. Field trip.
Oh, you were writing? Okay.
We were.
Both hands on the horn. Like, okay, now I'm gonna get on the horn.
But we went down there with our RTCT. We went down there and they left a piling from the original bridge in the middle of the river. And I mean, it's a pretty dang good sized piling right where we want to cross the water. So they had some riprap left over and I said, just fill it up. I don't want a horse to step in there. I sure don't want somebody bucked off into land on that jaggedy old rusty pipe. So I'm going to get a hold of Wayne and see if they filled that up. And we'll get some more horses. Bill was kind enough to bring a young gal and himself. And
My horse wouldn't go.
well, that's why you bring two horses, So I'm really wanting to get that causeway opened up. I want to get the trails done because that's my pet peeve around here is the horse thing. So that's coming along really good. And again, staff is amazing. All you folks have worked your tails off. I want to thank you for that. With that, we'll adjourn this meeting at whatever time it is. 7:53.